Hey ho. Okay. Things will have been moving probably quite quickly for you unless you go off and kind of make sandwiches or something in between each of these little videos. But just to make sure that I know where we've got to, we've talked a lot now about Old English nouns, and that's involved dealing with the concept of a case system. Fine. And then we moved on to talking about Old English pronouns, and that led to a couple of kind of slightly weird additions to the story of the case system. We encountered this idea of an instrumental case, but you don't need to worry about it, it occurs very seldom. We encountered the concept of dual number as well as singular and plural. A little bit weird again, you'll bump into it occasionally, nothing to be too stressed about. And we bumped into the concept, which I suspect I explained quite badly, but it's quite important, that when a demonstrative pronoun, like that, goes with a noun, like that boat, that fish, this walrus, then it has to agree with the noun in respect of number, gender, and case. And we're going to explore that a bit more in relation to adjectives. I say explore it a bit more, we'll just go over the same concept again really, in relation to adjectives, because this is the adjectives section of the tour of the magic sheet. You've had the nouns, and you've had the pronouns, and here in between is a block of adjectives. Winner. And once you've done the adjectives, we're through the substantives, we'll be out into the clear waters of verbs, and then you'll have pretty much learnt Old English. Well, or at least learnt to navigate the magic sheet, which is a good start for learning Old English. Adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns or pronouns. Big, yellow, girly, walrus-shaped. Hopefully you're okay with that. So these adjectives float about, and you've probably encountered in things like French or Spanish or German the idea that adjectives have to agree with nouns. A masculine noun will need a masculine adjective form to go with it. And now through the medium of Old English pronouns, you've encountered the idea that a plural noun will need a plural adjective to go with it. A plural accusative noun will need a plural accusative adjective. A masculine plural accusative noun, which is being described by an adjective, will be described by a masculine accusative plural adjective. Hopefully that's okay. Worth going for an example? Yeah, let's go for an example. Let's look at our nouns again. We'll go for another strong masculine sort of section of the sheet just because it's handy. There, right up in the corner, is Bart, meaning boat. What's the accusative of this strong masculine singular noun? Let's have a look. Accusative, oh, it's Bart as well. Okay, well, let's imagine that it's a particular kind of Bart, a particular kind of boat. Let's just mark that it's accusative singular too. Particular kind of boat, and we're going to describe it. It's going to be a good boat. So down here, among the adjectives, we have the adjective gourd, which means good. Pretty easy to remember. And we're looking for a masculine adjective. Here's a masculine adjective lurking on the end, so that's good. We're looking for a singular masculine adjective, so it's going to be in this block. And we're looking for an accusative singular masculine adjective, so it's going to be the accusative one. It's got a sort of pink colour on my copy of the magic sheet. Gordner. So, Gordner, Bart. A good boat. That, in theory, could be a nominative form, but that could only be an accusative form. That, in theory, could be an accusative form too, so if they're both going together, we know we've got an accusative singular masculine noun being described as good. Hopefully you're right with that. I double hope you're right with that because I'm about to get into the weird tricky bit. So if you want to go over that again, then just stop the thing, go back to the beginning, replay it, fiddle around with your magic sheet, ask me if you're really stuck, or one of your friends, or someone other than me. anyone will do. Grab a postman, he'll know. Because yeah, I'm going to get into a slightly tricky bit. Well, it's not really tricky, it's just kind of trying to keep you out of trouble. A masculine noun will have a masculine adjective. A plural noun will have a plural adjective. A genitive noun will have a genitive adjective. A strong noun won't necessarily have a strong adjective. This is the weird bit. Okay, so when we look at our adjectives, we see we've got two categories, strong and weak, just like we had strong and weak nouns. So you might think that strong nouns are going to have strong adjectives and weak nouns are going to have weak adjectives. Makes sense, doesn't it? But this is just like a trick of the evil German 19th century terminology, which actually is doing no one any favours. Strong adjectives are called strong because they have endings like the strong nouns, and weak adjectives are called weak because they have endings like the weak nouns. So they look very similar. But it's not that weak adjectives go with weak nouns and strong adjectives go with strong nouns. Something else is going on entirely. Now, I'm not going to attempt to explain this in complete detail because it's a bit tricky and it's a bit sort of weird. And you don't need to kind of compose, at least as far as I know, you don't need to compose Old English correctly, which is where you really need to be on top of this. You just need to recognise stuff that's going on when you're reading it, and that's much easier. How are strong and weak adjectives used? With nouns, a noun is either strong or weak. It's in one category or the other. With adjectives, all adjectives can be both strong and weak. You can put your strong adjective endings on, you can put your weak adjective endings on. Well, which ones do you use in any given circumstance? You basically use the weak adjective endings when there's a definite article, well, not a definite article, because Old English doesn't have them, but a determiner like that or this or my in front of it. A good boat. No word for A in Old English, so there's nothing up there. So that's possibly not even on the screen, is it? Let's just make sure everything... Oh no, I can't find my board wiper. Not that I ever had a proper board wiper anyway. Oh, here it is, okay. Under the magic sheet. Okay, so... A good boat. Gordner Bart. No word for in Old English, just Gordner Bart. There it is. If it's going to be that good boat, however, we put in our determiner, our word that means that, our demonstrative pronoun, it's a term I've been using, which in the masculine accusative singular is thona, that good boat. When you put a determiner in front of the adjective becomes weak. You don't get a strong ending anymore. Bye-bye strong ending. You get a weak ending, which you can find on your magic sheet. Adjective, weak section, masculine weak section, accusative masculine singular weak section, Gordon. Thona Gordon Bart. That good boat in the accusative. I sailed Thona Gordon Bart. I sailed that good boat. I sailed a good boat, any old good boat, not that one, could be any good boat. I sailed Gordner Bart. Pretty weird. If I want to say the boat was good, again, good is out on its own. It's not kind of, it doesn't have a determiner in front of it. So it would be, let's do it. It's going to be the subject this time. The boat's the subject. So it's going to be Sir Bart was gored. Funny ending. Well, no any on the end because this time it's nominative, agreeing with the boat, which is doing the verb. Sir Bart was gored. Sir Bart was not gored up, which would be your nominative weak adjective form. I really hope I've explained that okay. You can go over it again. That's the best option. No point me banging on about it. But adjectives, like determiners,